All rights belong to BBC Studios and their affiliates. This is not a market substitute for the original content. Anyway, guys, you might have noticed that this reaction is a bit muddled. Let's be honest, it doesn't look good. The components, all the things together, it looks very blurry, very bright. The color correction's terrible. Lighting was off. Basically, my camera cut out halfway through, and I had to switch over to another camera, which I think from now on I'll start using because it has better sort of automatic settings. And yeah, for future references, don't worry, I'm just sort of figuring out this as I go, and I think the process will be much easier for the next episode.
Where's that? No! Don't put them together yet!
Wait for that. Oh, what's that mean?
I hope you've packed. They're not just coupons. That's a teleport cube. Just activated. We've got about 4 seconds.
No.
Oh.
Fetch me speedos. Only joking.
What? Gotta take some notes.
Welcome to Tranquility Spa.
Oh, guys, this is a bit of all right, isn't it?
Welcome! O'Brien Party of 4? Bandozi Herald coupons. I'm hyphen with a 3. Your customer host.
I don't even know how to say that.
And relax. I'm hyphen with a 3. Nice tail. I'm a bit worried about being separated from my ship. Our system has saved exactly where you came from. You can return at any time, but you booked in for 2 weeks all inclusive.
So they're separated from the TARDIS.
Take a moment to explore, and I'll come and find you once they're ready. I'm going to find the pool.
Your favourites.
Ooh.
All inclusive.
I have a baby Guinness. Berries with a bit of Tia Maria.
Oh!
Fighting with a vending machine?
No, it just gave me an electric shock.
That's not a shock. It's a hopper virus. This machine's sick and it just passed its virus onto you.
How did I get a virus that's the same as a vending machine? I'm not a machine.
Hoppers are multi-platform. They'll go for anything. Don't pick at it.
Oh, did it just go through me?
It's moving deep inside.
Oh, this is just like evolution.
Important not to panic. Humans always have the same reaction to a hopper virus. First you get the wiggly fingers, which is a warning the legs are about to go. Oh, luckily, this is where my hopper first aid training kicks in. You need to get rid of these. Then pinch your ear. And you're gonna sneeze. Oh, yes. Now suck your thumb until the hallucinations stop, and remember.
Oh, that's really good. Mechanic Eye, because we did that last season. Good planet. Oh.
What is happening right now? Oh, God, blimey. What, I mean, nut? Am I having a stroke or something?
No, it's...
Education. A really good one. Too toxic for life. We're not safe out here.
So, Skaro essentially would be an orphan planet. That's a cool idea, actually. Orphan planets. So, taking away this designation
because it's uninhabitable.
because it's uninhabitable.
This happened. There's nearly always a ruling elite that gets to evacuate. And then, why didn't the Dread kill him?
He was having fun. There's a room down there where I stashed a medipack. Bet you we can get out of here.
What?
You're not getting out anyway.
Hell?
Bella!
What are you doing?
Shut up. I
What?
will shoot you.
Where's this coming out of?
Where's the maintenance teleport came?
I'd rather die than tell you.
Oh, you're going to die. It's just whether I shoot and kill you now, or wound you and leave you to the dregs.
What is it you want?
Burn everything you've built to the ground.
Who are you?
Me? Oh, I'm no one. I was my dad's carer.
Bella, why are you doing this?
My mom didn't really die. She just never came to any of my birthdays. She didn't come to his funeral. And she doesn't even recognize me now. Trixabel. Oh. And she gave me the name Trixabel.
Oh.
The teleport's behind you.
Jeez.
Come on!
Jeez.
This is not the way to resolve a family dispute. How about good old
So that's why she's here.
Discussion.
You're welcome. We need to find a way to help the others get back.
No, they can sort themselves out.
Hey. These people are my family. We're finding a way.
Too late. I'm here to burn this place down, and if you're not with me, you'll die here too.
But why? Because she wasn't there for you?
Hang on. Where's Ryan?
I thought her lungs were actually much more increased
Don't worry.
due to her Gallifreyan biology.
Using too much oxygen.
Oh, that's actually kind of creepy.
They know where we are. They'll be too fast for us to take cover. I'll try and get a shot at them.
Oh, she has an idea? She has an idea?
Keep moving.
What?
What are you doing?
I said it's nothing.
No, let us see.
Okay. Russia?
Like Russian.
Novosibirsk. It's a Siberian underground station.
So it's Russia in the future? What?
No. It can't be Earth. This is nothing like Earth.
Oh my god. So, Earth destroyed by nuclear war.
Got a shot.
There's too many. Which one of you hurt my Bennett?
Oh god, this entire scenario is going to mess her up.
Doctor won't be able to isolate.
Oh god. So this is Earth ruined by nuclear war.
She died, bless her, so we can get her.
Give me some time. No.
You owe her.
I owe you all for starting this. Tell her I'm sorry. She deserved better.
That does not redeem you. Only barely.
I'm guessing Bella.
If this is Earth, then what are the dregs?
Rose. Mutated.
Yes, the few that didn't die.
Oh no, they can't be. How did Earth end up like this?
Good warnings from every scientist alive. Global warming. The food chain collapses, mass migration and war.
Don't get too preachy now, don't get too preachy.
Get out of here. When I say run, run. Run! Barricades breaching the wall. Stop the dregs getting in.
Sun loungers.
Yep. Some lounges lost line of defense.
Well, best way to try a sinking ship anyway.
This must be here somewhere.
Oh, now they're just cheating.
Hey, that's the oxygen supply.
He's our ruling weapon.
Ah, clever.
Got a plan.
They breathe carbon dioxide, but they don't breathe oxygen.
You go
That's
down,
poison
I'll
to
meet you at
them.
the Teleport. Oi!
That's actually pretty clever.
Lazy, over here.
No, no, let's move on now.
For a real mechanic.
Gentlemen, let's make some cerulean pool.
That require a bit more trickery to it. Oh. Weird flex, but okay.
We made it.
Huh. What about them?
She'll be okay. She'll be fine. She's with Kate. How are they going to be okay? No oxygen, no help.
When did you know that it was Earth?
Oh,
Just before you did.
really?
Look, I know what you're thinking. But it's one possible future. It's one timeline. You want me to tell you that Earth's gonna be okay? Because I can't. In your time, humanity's busy arguing over the washing up while the house burns down. Unless people face facts
That's
and
a good line.
change, catastrophe is coming. But it's It's not decided.
So that happened. It was an episode. It's... Yeah, that's the best way to really call it. It's just an episode. There's no real great merit to it. There's no real rewatchability to it. Not even much call for me to watch other reactors to it. I have my notebook and took some notes there during the whole thing. So let's see what we discussed. And it had a really good setup. It had sort of like laissez-faire, sort of everyone's dreamlike. It's a paradise. Everyone loves where they are. It's great for everyone. Everything's so easygoing. There's good comedy. That bit at the beginning where they had the virus, that virus infecting Ryan, I thought that was a hilarious bit of comedy from Jodie. I was like, finally, yes, something hilarious for her to do. She's not just stuck to saying like, oh, here's this thing, but I second guess myself, and then I remind myself that it's not actually that. It's like saying something that she thinks is funny, but realizing what she said wasn't as funny as she thought she was. Here, it was actually a comedic routine. I'll say right off the bat, the prosthetics were amazing. I mean, those are some pretty damn good prosthetics. They're really they're not just creepy, they're kind of scary. Like, if you frame them in the right way, like in the shadows, barely seeing them, you only see great close up of their teeth, their eye at one point, or they're just outlined a silhouette around them. Ooh, that's actually a really good setup for mystery. It's similar to what they did in Alien, where you barely ever saw what the actual creature was until the very end. It was always kept in the shadows. You only saw bits of it. You always saw like a brief flash, like, whoa, what is that? And that was effective. You're left wondering what I'm anxious to see what it looks like. Sadly, they kind of dropped the ball about halfway through, and they sort of just showed huge, massive armies of them, which in a way it kind of works, similar to Aliens, actually. A lot of Ridley Scott references here, but in Aliens, when we know what the alien looks like, it's the fact that now we know what it looks like. There's a massive amount of them, and that's also scary. Problem is, I think they used the same CG of the monster going all the multiple times in different shots. They just green screened it into each scene, and I have to say, I think it's much better than their CGI. I think the CGI took a bit of a hit, I think, with these seasons, but I definitely think their prosthetics are getting much better. Let's see. Yeah, I was actually reminded when they got to that sequence where it was all encased in this huge bubble, like it was it's similar to an episode of Love, Death and Robots on Netflix. Pretty good series. I've seen the whole thing. Won't be able to react to it, but one episode in particular was an episode about these farmers. And he's like, come on, guys, let's go! And they have all these sort of mechs around them, and it's like these sort of digger mechs or construction worker mechs, and they're fighting off swarms of aliens. And you think, oh, okay, so it's like redneck farmers fighting off aliens and mechs, like the redneck of the future. Sorry, I hate using the term redneck. Seems very offensive, but it's like farmers of the future. They're fighting off aliens. Then it reveals at the end of the episode, spoiler alert, but it's similar to what happens at the end of the episode. So where it's revealed that they're a farm on a planet, and it's being overrun by aliens around it. So everything else is barren except for these domes of this alien planet that they've taken over, and these aliens are trying to take it back. Similar to in this case, where the aliens are actually the natives. And the actual aliens are these people who are out on Orphan 55 and are now back sort of taking the land away from them. And that's another notion I thought was really cool. Orphan 55 is the fact that a planet, when it's completely devastated, destroyed, wiped out, and you have to say like, it's done, it's dead, strike it off on the map, like off the map, gone. There's no more real association with it. It's an orphan planet. So I have to address it. It wasn't scary. It looked creepy. It had scary imagery, but it wasn't scary. It's not similar to, say, Midnight, which is unnerving, intense. The amount of tension they managed to rack it up with a bottle episode. So, 7 characters locked into a single room. One of them is possessed, and they have to confront it. And it's done in a creepy way. Just this person, but she's mimicking everything they say. No prosthetics. Barely any CGI. And the only other places we see are at the very beginning and at the very end of the episode. And yet it is nerve-wracking. They do so much more with so much less, and that's the problem of this episode. They pack so much into it. I mean, there's the old couple. There was the daughter who was the woman who was revealed to be the daughter of the owner. Then there was the mechanic's father-son Joe. I think there was some sort of parent-child dynamic in this, but it didn't really pan out. Like, it was only between those two, and they didn't try to mimic it between, like, Ryan and Graham that much, or they didn't try to have, like, Yaz be like, oh man, what about my parents? And that's a pity, because the parents are actually kind of funny. Her family is kind of funny. And we haven't gotten back to the phones. Do you remember the phones? The phones with you can upgrade them and that you can call them from anywhere in the universe at any time point. Because it links, I assume it's like some sort of temporal technology that links from where they are to where they left from, so it's interconnected through the TARDIS into their point of origin. And it's been dropped. And I think that would have been some cool things here, because you get a lot of really good emotional family connection moments out of that. Like when Rose is calling from the end of the world, she's saying like, I really miss you, while she's watching the entire Earth explode into a ball of gas. Or Martha, as she's flying into a deadly sun, it's like calls her and says like, I just want to tell you I always respected you and I always loved you, and thank you for being there for me. It's like, these are genuine emotional moments. I mean, you don't often always feel for them, but you get the idea what they're going for. Here, I'm not sure what they're going for. But that's just one thing. But it is the fact that there were just so many characters, to a point where you could have just really cut some of them out. You could have cut the old couple out. You could have cut the mechanic duo out. And you could have cut the whole connection between the mother and the daughter. And it seemed more like very much like a gotcha moment, where she was at the end and it's like the gun flipped around and it's like you were actually my mother. Like, gotcha. Like, great. What are we going to do with that? And I'm not even quite sure what they're going to do with the character. I'm not sure if they're going to really bring her back. I'm not quite sure if they're going to bring any of these characters back. Because I didn't get why they were sort of setting up him trying to chat her up, Very awkward. But I have to also address the commentary. Doctor Who, you're a great show for this. You really nail it down. But when you nail down those sort of speeches, it's like a combination of all different elements. My favourite speech from Doctor Who is from the Zygon inversion. It's from season 9. Capaldi is immense in that sequence. But it's not just his performance. It's the combination of slow pacing, editing, the build-up of those 2 episodes into this one moment. It's the culmination of his emotions, but it also builds upon old episodes. The 50th anniversary, the other interactions with the Zygons. It builds upon this moment where he's like, I have something to say, and it's built on trauma and deep-seated emotion. So much so that when it gets to that episode, you feel like, oh God, he's been holding this in for ages. It's like it's been in his chest, it's in his heart, and he just powers through it. Like, like, yeah, the only way we can stop war is if we sit down and talk. And it's like, yes, that's true. I mean, it might sound preachy. It might sound as like this, oh, commentary, but it's actually coming from a character who cares. Climate change, it's important, especially with with everything happening in Australia, the bushfires, the death of upon millions of animals. It's harsh to read. It's disturbing to think that it's not being covered as much as other big major stories. But the fact that they want to say like it's all this, we need to discuss this, like, yes, it's important that we discuss it, but it needs to be natural. You say more with what you don't say. Like, if they just left it at nuclear devastation, how did it get there? And the doctor's like, I don't know. Come to your own conclusion. It could be a myriad of things. Basically, if the doctor said, I don't know, that'd be more powerful. The person who travels through time, who can see all of time and space, doesn't know how Earth could have arrived at this situation. Not only would that put more doubt of the companions in the Doctor, which I'm glad to see they're actually still continuing. Like that scene where she says, like, she spots the sign for Siberia, and they're like, no, don't obfuscate, tell us what you saw. And it's like, it's the sign to Siberia. It's like, okay, which is good. They're actually addressing these problems. But yeah, the fact that they wanted to really drive home that this is like a global warming issue, when really it seems more like a nuclear war issue. But it's just not memorable. It dates it. And that's important, is that the more we determine from the episode, the better it can be applied to everything else. That war speech the Doctor gave is impactful because it's talking about this Zygon War, this self-contained event. It's not connected to any other thing. You could make an argument that it's trying to be an allegory for refugees or for crossing borders or for incoming migrants, but it's also just there for war. The fact that these people you can call the other. We can label these guys as the other. They're the enemy. That's how it is. Let's blow them up. We need someone to come in and say, like, no, you need to sit down and talk about this. And while an important talking point, Doctor Who needs to go back to that little bit more subtle writing. I mean, don't get me wrong, hasn't always been subtle. Some episodes have been really on the nose, and I think it's coming down to this theory I have where there's always one bad episode in every season. There's always one episode where everyone looks at it like, nah, not for me. Like, even in React, people do reactions to the entire series, to the entire arc. They were like, people will be watching like, Love and Monsters, not for me. The Hag novel, that one with the alien that ate everything on the ship last season, and there's a man who was pregnant, is like, not for me. That's how unmemorable it is. The fact that I can't even remember the name. I think there's memorable elements, but not a very good episode. I hope this is like the low point. Like, even at like season 12, its lowest point is still pretty decent. But that's neither here nor there. But the companions, that's an interesting point. The fact that the companions are able to be like, they actually are doing stuff. Like the fact that they were fighting off the monsters, they were fighting off the hordes, they were interacting with other people and saying like, no, you shouldn't do that, that's a horrible thing to do, or I want to help you, I want to do this. They're proactive. That's a marked improvement since last season. The companions are being proactive. Like, they're getting their own little stories. I think that's why they include so many characters, but they need to do more with just the companions. I mean, I love when they interact with other people, but when you start giving other people arcs and progressions over times and proper character, or like you're trying to give them character, but you don't have enough time for it. Like like that guy, the green-haired mechanic. Don't even remember his name. I just know that he was played by the same actor from The Inbetweeners. And they just put him in there, and they got him in there not because he has good acting or good comedic talent, but because he's a memorable face from an old TV show, which is honestly not a very good indicator of their casting. I thought the aliens at the end were kind of lame. That's the best word I can describe them. They're lame. They just sort of looked creepy. They were just sort of mutated humans who just crawled around and growled at people and who hunted people. And yeah, I don't know. It's like I think like the only major element to it was the fact that they were human. That's all they were. They were twist monsters. They weren't monsters with personality. They weren't any grand scheme or master plan. They were just there for the twist. They're monsters, but they're also humans. Surprise! That's it. I think that's something they did better in the last two episodes, because did seem organized. They did have this cool design. They had this master plan, and they had this sort of mystery element to it. To the point, I would think these guys can come back, but these radiation creatures, that's it for them, and they're kind of a disappointment. Other than that, look, not great. Sound design though was actually pretty good as well. I need to give some credit to that. That was pretty loud. I was listening there on the headphones, and it was like, wow, jeez, dial it back down. But yeah, other than that, I hope this is the low point of the series. Like, yeah, we sort of ended there. That's it. Nothing too major about it, and it actually just gets better from here. So I think I know I'm not going to change anything in the next episode, but I hope I can change maybe the next season when I say so dial back the characters. Like too many characters can sort of dilute the plot. Improve upon the monster writing. Basically, make them allegories, but also give them a bit of character. Make them their own thing. They're not just the allegory. And let's see, thematically relevant. Have a running theme throughout, but also have it connected to the series overall. I mean, I think there is some element to that where they're having the companions sort of second guess the Doctor, but mainly it's the whole dynamic of who is the timeless child. Have that running through every episode. Like Bad Wolf kind of did that, but they need to do in more episodes. Like they should have it like almost every episode. So that way you can go back through the series, like find the Easter egg. Hey, timeless child. Just have like a little bingo book, like I got them all. Bingo. And hopefully, maybe for the next season, if they're not doing the Timeless Child or anything like that this season, or they're still just going to build it up to maybe the finale, but I hope that they actually do, a few more two-parters. I think they excel as a two-parters. They need to sort of keep the pace up and keep it going, but I'm not ready to just give up on it. It's one slip up, and I don't was like, oh, it's done, it's gone. But they toyed with my love too many times. They did that in season 8. They did that in season 11. They had a couple of episodes where they slipped up, and I was like, you know what? It's one episode. If I let one episode ruin my entire viewing experience, then it's not a good show overall. Fact is, it is a good show. So you can't really judge a show by its one episode. And I'm still excited, especially for next episode because I have Nikola Tesla. I'll have more on that in that reaction, but that's all I have for now.